This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Portian Bakery. If you're located in the Portian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Portian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone can podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode.
Okay. I don't have super long because Tara's exam is tomorrow, so I have to play the test body as she runs through all the stuff. But I did want to actually, you know what? We'll continue the conversation we were having right before this podcast, but I'll switch it a bit. You know what's really fascinating? Let me preface it this way. What's the worst possible infraction you could make in a country?
Oh, you mean like treason?
I love that you jumped straight to that. So yes, it is treason, right? And what is treason? You're going against your country, right?
Yeah.
And that's straight death penalty. That's life in prison, just something like that. It's the worst thing you can do, right? Let's say you're a spy for another country, but you're within this country, so they don't like that. But who is the biggest treason artist in history that we glorify?
Treason artist? What does that mean?
Or a treason, a guilty treason body. Who is guilty of treason? The worst crime.
Oh, you're talking about
but we're now
Snowden?
glorifying
Snowden or something?
Oh no, yeah, for sure, no Snowden, yeah, but before Snowden, there's a very famous case of treason that we all know, and but now they're the heroes of the world. They're the superpower of the world.
Oh, you're talking about the United States?
Yes. That's so funny that you knew exactly the example I was thinking of, and it's funny to me because it's
treason to the British Empire in that sense.
Yeah, because they were British. Yeah, right. So, all right, if you don't know the story, basically, Americans were British, and then they went to the New World, which is America now, and they were supposed to set up outposts and resources back, but then the people that were in the New World with what the indigenous have were actually, I like it here. I'm just going to chill here, and I'm going to start a whole new country. We're going to kill off all of the people that were already here, aka the indigenous, and we're going to set up outposts and cities, and then we're going to go against Britain and say hey, we're sovereign now, we're separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
The founding fathers
Yep.
are all treason. They're anarchists and they're treason people, right? They're guilty of treason. But with the passage of time, we've suddenly glorified them in a way that's if they had lost, we would just be looking back in history oh, that was a nice shot.
Sure,
you tried, but you failed.
But now they're their
right?
biggest ally, right? To Britain.
Right. Well, yeah, totally. But yeah, it's right. So history is so ironic to me, and it's which was once the enemy now becomes the good guy based off of victories, based off of public relations, really. Think about it. They became the biggest economy. They became the biggest warmonger, and they have a history steeped in treason and anarchy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the origin. Yeah,
but
origination.
actually, literally though, right?
Yeah,
Is there any way to paint that picture other than what it was?
Mm-hmm.
If you actually look into history, you know what I mean? They are the bad guys. but now they're the good guys.
Yeah, or the
You know what I'm
rebels,
saying?
right? Like that's
The rebels, right?
yeah.
Right? Totally. Yeah, for sure. And maybe that's why we like, Star Wars, because they like started a whole, like they rebelled against what was going on.
Yeah.
But to me,
Which
it's
was
like
they called the Empire, right? They called the bad guys were the Empire.
the British Empire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And then you have the rebel army that became the Americans, and it's like that's like how they were founded. Like that's the nature of that country. Okay.
Yeah.
But what if Hitler had won the war?
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what if the opposing forces had actually defeated the Allies in World War II? So now we have Russia, China, Germany, Japan,
yeah,
all dominating the world.
Yeah.
And the only reason why we have this Western perspective right now is because they won the war.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But then looking into that as well, it's like, but thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet what the neighbor has. Like you shouldn't want to take away from what your neighbor has, right? You shouldn't kill your neighbor, right? Do unto others as they would have done unto you, right? All these tenets that are hypocritical and ironic.
Then I guess it's like yeah, but then that would be the case where it's like, well, it's not, the religion is not the cause of the war. It's just humans.
Right. Okay. Totally. And this actually came up, and our conversation prior to starting the podcast is what like brought it up in my mind, which is like at the end of the day, the true nature of human beings is steeped in hypocrisy and irony.
Yep.
But like actually though, and I was saying this to other people, but it's weird because it's like when you say something so direct and so logical that you can't refute it, nobody likes you. No, but like,
yeah.
You're like, yeah. But I'm like, no, but really,
Yeah.
no, but really, people don't like you. And it's like, it's just the truth that hurts. But tell me I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like just pre-read. Like if you want to have this conversation in a logical manner, based off of arguments that are steeped in fact, and how can you say it's fact, right?
Right.
So like something to me, I consider something fact if it's already happened. We're just reporting on what happened. Sure, you can like change the narrative in your rewriting of it, but at the end of the day, what happened, and that becomes fact because you can't change the past unless, aliens, and then we figure out how to change the past. But from where I'm standing, a fact is something that's like irrefutable. It's like it's written down. We all knew what happened. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so if you start arguing in facts and logic, people really don't like that. And I've noticed that.
I think that's see, it's the clash with emotion because that's what you're fighting.
Oh my God, you're so funny. I wish we were in the same professional settings. So that's exactly what I said. I was like, so basically, all right, without giving it away, basically somebody said something in an environment. Should I be loose with this? Basically, I heard something in an extremely logical manner. Okay. And I was like, yeah, 100%. And then I just basically, I added to the logic. I was like, yeah, that's very logical. And that's because of this. And I basically boiled it down to hypocrisy and irony. Human beings at their core, at their nature, are hypocritical and ironic.
Yep.
Right.
Sure.
And then I was like, I could list off examples, but I won't because what I'm already writing is pretty long. But then I was like, I'm just going to give you one example that we all know, And then I brought up America. And it's like, but that's treason. That's literally the worst thing you can do. But now they're heroes, right? Hypocritical and ironic. And just people don't like that. And it's like, but why? And then I said, the reason why we don't like that is because we live in a subjective world. Subjective, aka emotion-ridden world.
Yeah.
If we looked at things logically, it's like these all make sense. Why are we not pursuing something that's logical?
Mm-hmm.
But it's because our world is literally run by emotion. Right?
Yes. Well, yeah. There's reaction. Reaction is emotion. Yeah. Not
Yeah,
necessarily.
totally.
Yeah. Factual.
And
Yeah.
right. And what I said was that we live in not only is it run by emotion, but it's grounded in fear, survival.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to be the one person that says something that's against the crowd, because then you get ostracized. If you get ostracized, you get kicked out of the group.
Sure.
And if
Yeah.
you get kicked out of the group, you have no way to survive, right? Like
Yeah.
if
You're
you look at
alone.
hunter gatherers,
Yeah.
you're alone. And people who are like vanguards or like the forerunners of thought and ideas are all alone. You know, it was in that book too, Flatland. He realized, you know, that there's a 3D world out there and they live in a 2D space. And I finished the book, by the way. Basically, it's about it's like Plato's allegory of the cave.
Right.
So they live in 2D space, and then he goes out and he realizes, oh, there's 3D. Comes back, tries to tell people that, hey, there's a 3D world out there, and they all like basically jail him for saying that there's a 3D world. Like, oh, you're crazy, right? Yeah. And then one line in the book is like, the real thinkers, or the people that know something ahead of other people, are just like villains. Not villains, but like they're cast out.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's also the timing, right? It's like what we're doing, like a Socrates thing was, right? Like Socratic, thinking through things. This would be in Socrates' time like illegal, or like that's why he was considered as corrupting the youth, right?
Corrupting the youth, yes. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, but then now we're doing what he was doing. So I just think sometimes some of these things take time, maybe, to get into people's minds, right? So it's just, sure, maybe that person's ahead of his time, kind of thing. But of course, you're gonna be viewed on as an enemy or something like that until eventually we'll get to that point. But it's just not now.
Yeah, totally. But then it's like, if you look at it from that perspective, and that's how we live the world, that's how the world runs itself. What if we had, you know, like hypothetically speaking, if there was an advanced civilization, aliens out there, and they were able to create, you know, a planetary system that's able to like go around the universe and like look at things, theoretically, they'd be more spiritually evolved. And by spiritually, I don't mean like God. I mean like what we're talking about here. Like, this is just logic. You know, they'd be more, I don't know, how do you put that? It's not spiritual, but it's like, I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, don't let your emotions run you. You know? And if we created a world based off of that, you know, because we have like the id, ego, superego. Right? You heard that in like psychology. And then you have like the self, and then the higher self in spirituality, right? They're always alluding to something that is able to control the emotional center of the brain, right? If we run basically straight up off of emotion, but emotion is how we create art as well. So it's like, it's a double-edged sword.
That's what I'm saying. But
you need emotion.
Yeah. There's levels to this, right?
Yeah.
You can't move forward without emotion. At the same time, you can't. It also can be detrimental to us too. So it's like
totally.
It's they both play in this game, right? So
for sure. And it's all about balance. You know, you can't let it swing too much in one direction. And I feel like the society that we've created thus far is just straight emotion. And it's like evident in social media. You can push somebody's emotion towards, you can control the masses through social media. You know, you just like, without delving too deep into what's going on right now in the media, but it's like, if you don't stand with this person, then you're the enemy. And if you don't even say, if you stand, like, even if you opt out, you're still the enemy. Because like, silence is violence. You're like, what are you talking about? I just didn't look into it, bro. You just want me to say something as quickly as you are saying it,
right?
Because that became a meme, right? Silence is violence. You're like, violence against what? Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah, because I saw one thing where it's like, because these two people haven't said anything, which would be Drake because of his background and DJ Khaled because of his background.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right.
And then they're being vilified?
Yeah. It's like they should be saying something or something like that.
But it's weird too, because it's like, why do we look to celebrities for our geopolitical
that's
advice.
emotion thing too, though. That's all part of that. Right?
That's what I mean, bro. And the fact that you okay, if I'm looking at a geopolitical manner, I don't care what a musician thinks. Your skill is in emotion driven content. You need to make me a song that I like, right? But if I want to learn about geopolitics, I'm probably going to go to a political figure or somebody that's studied this.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's like emotion driven, like decisions. Like, but that alludes to what I was saying, that our entire world is just run by emotion. At least the West. I don't know about the East, but
It's all like that. I think in anything when you're dealing with groups of people, it's going to be like that, because if
Emotion,
these are run by elections are run by people. I mean, by emotion too, right? So
Totally.
it's like,
Yeah, for sure.
like
What's a society?
You need to react.
Society's people.
You need to react, right? You have to act. So like that's when you say it like that, it's like, well, if I give you a week to decide, well, then that's too long, because right.
Right.
You need to react.
So what if I've never looked into the matter at all?
Sure.
And you want me to choose?
Yeah.
That's another crazy part. It's like you can't even say, dude, I didn't even look into this. And it's like, why don't you educate yourself? Dude,
yeah, exactly.
You know
right
this?
there. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm all into UAPs, right? And then if people are like, why didn't you educate yourself? Why didn't you educate yourself on UAPs, bro? That's even bigger than what's going on. Like,
we're talking about humanity.
Strife.
It's not just individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like literally talking about how the universe is run. Like there's something bigger than us, and like you care about this like little squabble. You know, not a little squabble. It's
but
not,
yeah.
I want to downplay, but you know what I'm saying? It's like
in the
where do
grand
we draw
scheme
the
of
line?
things. Right.
We're supposed to care about what other people care about, and that's what I find. Like,
yeah, I mean,
ironic.
even simple
ironic.
Things. Yeah, simple things. It's like the Xbox versus PlayStation. Like, how long was we were doing that? That's
totally. Yeah. Like in group, out group. You mean division? Yeah, it's like it's.
But we do it all the time. Like it's simple. That's what I'm saying. Like even Xbox and PlayStation, there's no as simple as that becomes a very big thing.
That's based in survival mechanisms, because we need to create tribes. We need to, go for a team.
You need to be right. If you're wrong, then like you question your whole life.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's like people are married to their identities. Like their ideas are their identity. It's like, no, it's just an idea, bro.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Like they're malleable. It's like, okay, cool. That's new information. Let me like redesign.
Yeah.
It's like when people like go back and they cancel people based off of like their old posts. Like the Kevin Hart thing, and you're like, what? That was years ago, bro. Like quite literally, that was like what, 7 years ago.
Yeah,
basing off that,
right?
Wild. Oh, actually, you know what? That reminds me. A little small tangent. This is crazy. So Tara was trying to promote something for her program, and it wasn't working. Okay, she's like hitting send. It wasn't working, and then she's like, "Oh, it's not working." She kept trying to do it, and then all of a sudden, Facebook logged her out and said, "Your account has been disabled, and you can't get it back." Ooh. And she's like, "What?" And then we read the community guidelines, and it's like you can't promote, like, but it's like it's weird because it's like it's her program that she's running, and it's a closed Facebook group, like it was like to the audience, but you're not allowed to do that apparently. And then we were like, who reads the terms and guidelines? And we were Googling, and it's like, there's no way to get your account back. So she quite literally lost everything.
Oh, shoot.
No, it's like just for Facebook, though. She's like, whatever, I don't use Facebook, so who cares? Like, it's all Instagram.
But yeah, no, I see that a lot. Like, people, like, what do you call
cancel
it?
culture?
Yeah, it's not cancel culture. It's just like the community guidelines. Any specific word may not, like, maybe the context is all okay, but there's like specific phrase or a specific word they don't want mixed, like, beside each other being used.
No.
Like I see it all the time on TikTok lives where they, instead of saying killed, they'll say unalive.
Yeah.
Like
no, 100%. And it's like, I noticed that with myself. Like I put this quote, this quote from a person onto a post, and then it blocked the post, and I was like, what? But it's that phrase that they're looking for, and it's not a human being that's like, well, how did she get disabled?
No.
If she could speak to a human being, she'd be like, well, look, like I was promoting to my own community. You know, it's like I have a right to promote to these people, but under your guidelines, I
But there's no
like
way
was
to. I don't they
incorrect.
have like
No, there's no way. There's no
what do
way
you call it,
because there's
like
too many people.
no, I understand that. No, I mean like for like report the concern or report like this is not the right.
No. So yeah, totally, 100%. That is if you make a like a small error, I guess. But what I think, because I was like thinking about, I was like, how would this possibly happen? And I think what happened was it mistook her for a bot. So they probably thought, oh, this account's
Because she
fake,
kept,
like the
but it
algorithm,
didn't tell you when you're
because
posting
it
it.
kept
It
hitting.
didn't. Yeah, but you
No,
didn't. It didn't tell you
nothing
that.
popped up.
Okay, so that
No,
see,
nothing popped up.
right.
That's why she's like, oh, it's broken. It's broken. It's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. You know, nothing. Yeah, nothing popped up. And if there's a warning, it's like, okay, cool. Like I just want to do this.
That's odd.
There's no warning.
Then it would only confuse her as a bot because of the multiple clicks, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, right? So, because I was like, how could they possibly have done this? But maybe it's just bot behavior that they're like tracking for.
Mm-hmm.
But this little example is like, okay, so my one when I posted that quote and then it just flagged me and it like just took down the post. I was like, oh, whatever, you know, whatever. It wasn't even like it was just a quote from a book, right? But it didn't like the quote from the book. Like, okay, so so then, but I still have my accounts, right? Whereas she actually got disabled, and like they're like, it literally says you
But
cannot.
didn't
get
give
your account
even a
back.
warning. Didn't give like
Not a warning, bro.
That doesn't. I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy.
Weird, crazy, right? Okay, so now what this really makes me think of is like social policing. Like we build our, because I watch a lot of alternative thinkers online, right? Like Russell Brand, Joe Rogan, Bright
Sure.
Insight, all these people. They always warn you like don't stick to one platform because you can be canceled. And then what are you gonna do? So they always say get email lists because if you have an email list, you get people directly. People can't take that away from you, whatever, right? And seeing this as an example of somebody who's not even doing something nefarious getting blocked and removed and all your content is gone, like everything. Like we had our 2016 trip on there, like everything's gone forever. So it's like at any moment they could just turn you off.
Yeah.
You don't exist, right? That's a wild thought. And if you think about, you know, it's almost like with the closures during COVID, right? It's like, no, having a business is a luxury, not a privilege. Oh, no, sorry. It's a privilege, not a right. My bad. I got that wrong. Having a business is a privilege, not a right. Having social media is a privilege, not a right. Existing, living, being who you are is a privilege, not a right. And that's all it's really showing me, right? You know, you got to pay taxes, bro. Yep. It's a privilege to live in this country, not a right. It will put you in jail. You don't pay taxes, you go in jail. Sure. You know, so who's in control? And I've been hearing, I actually heard Joe Rogan talk about this, and he was like freaking out. He was saying like what this new event that just happened is making him realize is like, oh, there's a whole like small percentage of people that are running things. Like the military industrial complex, right? Like the people that are making lots of money off of war and like all this stuff. The bankers, you know? But I was like, but we knew that. Like, if you study business, if you look into this, it's like, yeah, obviously the people with the money are pulling all the strings, you know. But my problem is it's becoming more evident now. Like where once you and I were like theorizing on it, I'm like, oh, you know, like it seems like this. But then you have like salient examples like closures. You're not allowed to leave your house. You're like, whoa, okay, you know, you off the other shot. Whoa, okay. I'm like, oh, your Facebook account's banned for life. Whoa. Okay. You know what's even crazier? She can't even create a new account under this IP address. We were Googling it on Reddit. It's happened to other people. You have to go to a new location to create an account. So we tried on her computer.
Vin? Not
Vin.
V.
I don't know. I didn't try.
What do you call it?
What
was it called?
VPN.
Oh, VPN.
VPN.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, but what they're saying is it's tracking your Wi-Fi. So like your router.
I see.
So yeah, so you have to like, what they suggest is like go to like a public place, like a library,
right,
and then recreate a whole new account. But so even isn't that crazy too? She like tried to use a different email, but it knew. It was like, nope, you're the same person. Block you. So like, okay, so who's in control? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
with everything we have around us, it's like it is a privilege to be alive. Oh no, yeah, not a right. Yeah, it's a privilege to be alive. It's not a right.
yeah. Hmm.
But a lot of people think it's a right. Like my life matters, all lives matter. You know, what I mean? Like these things matter. It's like to
Yes.
you it does. But
Hmm.
see what I'm saying? All right, so now this sounds crazy. We're going down this rabbit hole. People are like, this sounds nuts. But it's like, no, just think about it logically.
Hmm.
Quite like quite literally, everything is controlled that we do. And it's freaking me out now with the Google thing. I think we talked about in the last podcast, but like censorship of news and stuff. Like you can't access certain news outlets through social media.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember we tested that?
I read a little bit about the bill. Read like just like the preface, the
Okay, yeah, yeah. All right,
definitions and stuff.
What's up with that?
So
So
the
why?
yeah, the bill is generally trying to protect news outlets. Um,
100%,
all right.
100%. No, but that's how
So
it always starts, though.
no, but
No, but,
it's not the
uh,
government telling him to ban the news.
no, yeah, I played a game of chicken. I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like either you pay, and like no, we're not paying.
Right, and it was the same thing that happened in Australia, and they ended up paying, right, or they ended up making the deal
Yeah,
between the government.
yeah.
So,
No, a hundred,
mhm.
100%, 100%. But that just shows you that tech companies run the world, not countries. You know what I mean? Like that's just more like if there's like citizen, country, tech company. You know what I mean? It's like
And
who's in
yeah, I was
control.
looking into it, and it's not like they're saying that there's a it's to there's not like a specific amount or anything like that. You just make a deal with the whichever outlet or news outlet, right? Let's say
Okay.
like the Toronto Star or something. That'll be like Meta and Toronto Star. They make their own deal. They don't have to necessarily. The pricing could be
Oh,
different based on between Toronto Star could be different,
oh,
between Toronto Sun could be different. Like
maybe that's why X still has the news and Meta doesn't. Remember we tested that last week,
right,
and it's
yeah.
like
But I don't know
maybe they made a
if
deal
it's
with the
law
other.
yet. It's not law yet. So what Facebook did was just pull an early move, or Meta, just to pull an early move to just ban it. To that's they're using that as leverage.
Okay.
Meta's using that
Yeah,
as
yeah,
leverage, and it's up to like who's gonna budge here. That's kind of what
yeah.
the
Totally.
what the situation's happening. So like in Australia, Facebook did the same thing. They ended up making the deal with the government.
Okay.
So it
Oh,
already
wait.
passed in Australia. So that's
Yeah.
why I think the law was working on for here as well.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, totally. 100%. Yeah, you mentioned the bill, and like this is a unintended consequence of that bill, whatever,
Hmm.
right? But the the other thing is like if you look at the Patriot Act during 9/11, it's like it's always well intentioned until it goes nefarious, right? And why was Snowden so bad? Because he figured out that they were spying on the American people,
Sure. Yeah.
right? But it's like, but they covered their conscience by being like, no, we're just looking for terrorists, bro. We're
Hmm.
like, this is totally well and legal within our, scope of things because the law, you know what I mean? It's like the law is so open to interpretation. Law is just like a legal proceeding, right? So however your lawyer can write it
Yeah. Yeah.
will make it so that you can get away with what you're doing.
Hmm. So like, but
You
the
know what I
law
mean?
again, yeah, it was just like I read through it. It's like it's just making deals with the media, like with like Google or the internet companies, basically. I forgot the term they used, but it
No,
was
no, it's
just
for
yeah,
sure.
it was just as
Yeah, but
simple as that for like to protect news media from existing. Because under what the government is saying is that there's been like it was like I don't know if it was 70 or 40% of uh, media companies have gone
okay.
because of the new media.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally. 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 Um, that's that's a fair point. All right, I have to. I drank too much Monster. We're gonna pause, but I want you to think about this while I'm gone, and then we'll jump right into it. Um, competition. It's like, yeah, 40 to 70. Maybe you should do better. Like, that's a weird bailout. Counter that thought. Wait, I'm going to the bathroom and then we'll come
Sure.
back. Counter that thought. Because
Yep.
that's my thought. It's like competition, bro. Like, that's why. What are you going to like? What are you going to bail out Facebook if Facebook's like dying? It's like, well, we all need platforms
I
to.
have an answer to that.
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
reason.
I'm going to go back. All right, one second.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. Go ahead. So tell me why I'm wrong.
No, I'm not saying
About
you're wrong.
competition.
What I'm
Okay,
saying
go.
is that the reason for this. Okay, I'll have to call back later. The reason for this would be to generate competition, because if media companies are failing, they're the ones who are asking for a bailout.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but
this
okay.
is a way to not
Like, you guys need a bailout? You need a
generate.
bailout? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So this is a way
okay.
not to generate a bailout.
Okay. What about the mom and pop store that you crushed during the lockdown? Did you get a bailout?
Wasn't there money in that too?
Did they got to pay it back? How does that work?
Uh,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
like, where do we draw the line in terms of, um,
Yeah, but we're talking about a different issue. I'm just talking about the news right now.
no, 100%. Right,
Yeah.
but the key component there was the bailout, right? It's like, well, we don't have to bail you out later, so buy-in, you know? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
but what about so many other things? What about the person who lost their job because of automation? Do they get a bailout? Where do you draw the line?
Right.
Why is a big company more important than the little person? Actually, though, hypocrisy, irony.
I guess
This is human
that's
nature.
why EI exists, right? Employment insurance.
Yeah, but that doesn't last forever.
Yeah, but it's a
Like,
form of a
that's
bailout,
like
right?
1 year. Yeah, but okay. If it's okay, one EI isn't even enough to cover your rent. Like, with Toronto prices right now, you don't get enough to really survive. So what are you gonna do? Like, food stamps,
Sure,
right?
sure. No, I understand that. I understand that. No, I'm just saying, right? Like, there are scenarios, or I don't say scenarios. There are ways that they're trying to implement these sort of things. This is just another implementation about a media thing. So this is an argument between the government and the internet companies to decide
Yeah,
on.
for sure. No,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. No, I get what you're saying, but it's all it's all ironic that these big organizations get way more leeway. I guess maybe the unintended consequences, if they go under, then more people lose their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to like kill one to save 1,000 kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, this will fixing this one
Yeah,
problem will fix multiple.
technically, yeah. This, yeah, but
Theoretically, though.
technically, yeah. But it's like if more media companies go under, then that means less news. That means then you're going in the
Okay.
more in the sense of more towards uh, having less information.
Right. So why not provide more of a budget, just like you provide to the military? Why not provide more of a budget towards,
Well, I
like,
guess
compared
that's
to
what
what you do other
that's what
things?
this would generate, right?
No. But the government pays for the military,
Yes, because it's
right? So
yeah,
it's
but
like,
it's run by the government,
but
right?
right. So why not?
Right.
Why not, instead of creating this battle between the two, why don't you just bail them out by giving them your own money?
No, but then that would go in the line of that this government funded media. So how can you trust government funded media?
Right. Unless you put a law in place where it's like, we're just going to fund you, but you could do whatever you want.
Yeah, you're saying that, but again, but it's still government funded media, right?
No.
So
Right. No, 100%. But like, it's like you
if
are
these are
making the
what I'm saying is
terms.
like this is just the point of the thing is just to generate like there'll be independent companies making those deals with them, right? So that's it.
No, I totally get what you're saying, but what I mean is, you are writing the law yourself. So if you want to create, it's like, we'll fund you, but we have no autonomy on that. You could write that in there, even if it's a government funded
Sure,
media.
sure.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, they're giving us money, but legally it says they can't affect any of our business. They can just give us money. So if you care so much about the news, why don't you pay for the news?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but like you said, right?
Yeah.
No, right. But they're
Yeah.
forcing other companies to do it for them.
No, they're not forcing.
They're
You don't
forcing.
have, again, that's why Meta's not doing
No,
it,
no,
right?
no, totally.
Right.
You're not they're not forcing us to get the vaccine, but it's going to be very difficult if we don't get it. See what I mean? Like, there's. All right.
No, I understand what you're
Duress.
saying, but again, Meta has been for a while not having any of the Canadian news available, right?
Yeah, totally. And how hard is life like that? And then when you make it hard for people, people are going to rise up. Like, hey, we need this. We need this. You guys got to figure it out. It's like you can squeeze different ways to get your end achieved. Like, let's say you want, like, there's a big tube full of water. You want to get all the water in the middle. You can squeeze to, like, from one side or the other side. You know, which is the way you're going to get to your goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're still squeezing us to get what you want. And it's like, how long will you hold out? It's just like last week's dumb money. You know, the investors were like, yeah, the people who are putting their money against us, they're eventually going to have to sell their stock to make money. So we're just going to hold out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, who's going to win this game of chicken, essentially?
Right. Yeah.
You know? And like, that's just alluding more to the fact that we have no control over what it is we're doing. We're just like herded. We like, it's the more that things play out is just showing me that, like, we're very herded as a species, and people that don't acknowledge this are just like blind, or they just, you know, are ignorant, or they're turning a blind eye, or they're ignorant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But for real though, right? Like, can you say that we are not just pawns in a game of chess that's like being played out on a grander scale?
Yeah, but I don't know if the person that's playing the chessboard knows that he's playing with other. Like, does he actually know he's playing chess? Like, is there? It's not like one person. It's just like
the pawn.
The chess player, or is he just like, you know what I mean? Like, is someone actually sitting as a chess player, or someone just? Everyone is just on the board.
Okay.
And the system is just the chess.
Right.
Player.
I'm going to say that 100% they know they're playing chess. And I know this for a fact because that's what business people do. Like, why did I put this marketing thing here? Why did I make this business deal? We're always playing chess. Like, all business people play chess. Not like in the literal sense, but like we're playing chess with people.
Sure.
Know?
Yeah. You're going off of whatever data that you have, right?
Right. To herd the masses. I want to make a sale. That's all I want to do.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And like, who knew that business, like marketing, would be so intertwined with human nature? You know, it's like, that's how I came to the realization of like, oh, we're just hypocritical and ironic. And when you understand that and we're driven by emotion, it's like, okay, I can make a sale.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, and it's not even like, why do my ads do so well? Why do my things do so well?
Yeah.
Because it's just, I understand what game we're playing, so I'm just playing the game, you know? So with that logic, it's like, I fully know we're playing chess, you know? It's like, why do we partner with this firm instead of this firm?
Sure.
Because maybe there's like some network effects that we could gain from, you know? So I really do think that there's people at the very top of this thing who are playing chess with us as pawns. Because even on a small scale, like, business people do it. Like, regular business people. Like, anybody that owns a mom and pop store, they're doing it. You know? Do you disagree, or, you know?
It depends on, I guess.
Why do you post?
Sorry?
Oh, like, as, like, advertising, right? Like, let's say you're a mom and pop store. I'm going to use this example, and then I'm just going to, like, shout you guys out. What up, Portian Bakery? I know you guys are listening to this right now, so hey, what's up, everyone that's working? Okay. So even at their level, okay, you're a small store, local bakery.
Yeah.
You're playing chess too. Like, why am I posting on social media? Why am I rearranging the environment in this way? Why am I putting this on sale versus this on sale?
Yep.
Right? I'm trying to make ends meet. like I'm trying to turn a profit, but essentially make ends meet.
Sure.
By managing my customer base. They're playing chess. Okay, if you're playing chess, you don't think a big banker's playing chess? Like when you go to a bank, you ask for a loan. Okay, hey, I need the loan to start a business. That banker is playing chess on you. What is the potential for you to pay me back?
Sure. Yeah.
And then can I do that? Can I do that for multiple places? And then create a portfolio of investments, like basically a bunch of businesses that I fund that give me back money. So I take that at a higher level. What about the people that are running banks, like multiple banks or funding banks? You know, in America, it's like privatized banks, right? So you don't think the multi-billionaire is playing chess like that too?
Yeah, I don't know. You're playing only based on whatever the data that you have, right?
No. Data aside, I'm saying like the individual person, like you and me, are just pawns in this game that we're playing of like social chess.
Okay.
All right, you and I want to buy a donut. Okay, you and I want to buy a donut.
Yeah.
We're pawns. Okay, we need a donut. So why are we going to choose Tim's or the Port Ian Bakery? Why? They're playing chess on us.
Sure. Okay.
Both are battling to get our money. You agree, right?
Yeah.
And then the banks that are funding Tim Hortons and the Port Ian Bakery, because you know everyone needs a loan, so the banks are like, which one is going to net out more money?
Sure.
So they're playing chess on us. So like it's like,
well, that's that they're going based on data, right? They're going based on the data in the
right? Yeah, data. But I see what you're saying. You're looking at us. I'm calling us pawns. You're calling us data.
Yeah.
We're saying the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No. Right.
Right.
You're saying
like, who's like, of course,
I'm calling
more
us
people
pawns.
Of course, more people are going to go to Tim Hortons. They have the data showing that here's the amount of people that are coming and buying our donuts.
Right. But what I'm saying is like the data that you're talking about are just pawns. It's like,
but I don't know what is that. What do you mean by
strategy?
Pawns? Okay, what do you mean by pawns?
Like you,
like is like when you're saying
pawns,
like
you just move them around.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying like, who's convincing me to go which way to buy? Is that what you're saying?
On that level, I'm saying, okay, so at the base level, you and me are looking for donuts. Okay,
right.
It doesn't matter. Okay, let's say there's
like
10 people,
as I'm saying, it's all based on data.
No,
like or
no, but
you're saying
it's not. No, it's not data though. No, it's not data. All right, check this out. So there's 10 people. Okay, there's 2 of us, right? Yeah. So pawns can be killed, right? In chess. You want to move them in a specific direction, but if they get killed, who cares? So there's 10 people. You and I are just 2 of the 10. So if like, let's say I'm playing on the Port Union Bakery side, if you and I decide to go to Tim Hortons, who cares? You're just a pawn, bro. Like, okay, that's a dead piece to me, but I still have 8 people I can attract to my side. I can like still make moves.
Sure.
A pawn in the sense of like, it doesn't matter what happens to you. You're just a piece on the board that I need to move.
Yeah, but you're selling a product, right? So that's why there are people coming to buy it.
Yes, but at 2 ends of the table, like in chess, it's 1 versus 1, right?
Yeah.
Chess. So like you, like that would be like Tim Hortons and Port Ian Bakery. You would be, if we were playing chess, like 2 ends of the table, it's like Tim Hortons, Port Ian Bakery. But our customers are like the pawns. It's like, oh, I lost one to you. Okay, cool. I gained one from you. Okay. Right. And then the tactics are like the higher ups, like the queen could be like social media marketing, or like the king would be like advertising. You know what I'm saying? Like these are just moves. And then like the strategies of how we get there. It's like, well, if I put this with this, it'll work together to attract this pawn. Take them. You know what I'm saying? Like, from that perspective?
Yeah.
So, but that's at the Port Ian Bakery and the Tim Hortons level.
Sure.
But then we take it to the banker level, and now the pawns become the businesses.
Okay.
They're not, why does Scotiabank's going to use everything to attract your loan instead of TD?
Sure.
So it's TD versus Scotiabank trying to get the loan off of the pawn.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like if we just keep taking that higher until you're like, oh, we're all just playing chess off one another. It's just
Right.
like
Okay.
4D chess.
So it's just competition. Right.
But that's yeah, 100%. But that's what business is,
Yeah.
right? Like they told us to study,
Well,
not study,
capitalism, right?
read.
In a way.
Not capital. It's just business, commerce. So when I was studying business, they're like, read The Art of War, right?
Yeah.
But having studied marketing, I was like, oh, I get it. I don't need to read the art of. I did read the Art of War, but I'm like, I get what you're saying. Like when you're studying marketing, you're learning all these like strategic maneuvers in order to take a pawn. You're trying to like win against the competition.
Right.
Right. So that's why they're like study war because that's what we do.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's war games.
Mhm.
You know, commerce is just like war or chess.
Right.
You know, but that's what I mean. Like allegorically, we're all just pawns at the end of the day. We really don't matter. If you died, it would be no different than someone dying in an accident from like from what recently happened.
It depends on how you look at it. Yeah, maybe. But like in competition just brew like, well, this guy's giving me as a pawn. Like I remember the thing when it was like, wasn't like McDonald's, because we have one in like that Port Union area, like next to the Tim Hortons.
Okay.
Yeah, so McDonald's was having free coffee.
So that creates more competition for
right. So it's just better
Tim
for
Hortons
the
and Port Union
pawn
Bakery.
or the consumer because you don't have to spend money on a coffee.
Right. That's the right. You're looking at it from the pawn level. Like you think you have choice. Like you're like,
well, yeah,
I'm a pawn and I'm
you
so
do.
important.
Because
No. What
you're
if
choosing the free
there's
coffee, or are you gonna go pay coffee at Tim Hortons?
That's the illusion of choice. What if there was no Tim Hortons, no McDonald's? Let's say you're in the forest. Where's your coffee?
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying though. That's the whole point of competition, right? That's the whole idea.
Oh, okay. Wait.
You're trying to attract customers.
Are we talking about pawns here? Wait, no. Are we talking about pawns? Or are we talking about are you talking about who has the power?
The pawns are the
Don't
customers,
have the power.
right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So the customers
without
have
the business,
choice.
It's the illusion of choice. Most of the time, I get you to do something you don't even know why you're doing it. That's a true marketer. A true marketer, like a really good marketer.
Yeah, I understand that.
Who I aspire to be is somebody who makes you think you chose, but I didn't make you choose. No, you didn't actually choose. I made you choose. That's why I believe in determinism. Being a marketer, I'm like, I understand how the game's played. Think about this. Okay. You think you have choice. Okay. You open your Google map and you're like, coffee shops around me. Only one pops up. But we know physically, like all these other stores didn't create Google accounts. So they didn't create anything on the map. Mm-hmm. So you think you only have one. You're going to go to that one. And then along the way, you're like, oh, there's another coffee shop. Well, I didn't know about this though. Or your friend's like, why'd you go there? There's like 5 coffee shops over here. Mm-hmm. It's the illusion of choice. You have to set things up to make it as easy for the customer to get. Like here.
Okay.
Let's say, do you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Wait, a better example. Let's say you need to get a tattoo. I love tattoos. So let's say you need to get a tattoo. You Google tattoo shops in my area. None come up. But there's one tattoo shop that's hidden in the basement, right? Oh, but I'm here. I'm a tattoo shop. No, you don't exist. You don't exist to the pawn. The pawn thinks they're choosing, but the pawn really isn't choosing. That's what I'm saying. That's how we live our lives. We think we have power. We really don't.
Well, are you saying that like on the Google thing, it won't pop up because they didn't pay Google to have it on the thing?
No, in that example, or they didn't think like, let me invest in marketing. Let me put myself on Google. But like they have a room in their parents' basement.
Sure.
Where they do tattoos.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I could choose. You can only choose from what you're presented with. We can only make choices.
Yeah. You have to get your...
Who has the power?
Yeah, and so they would have to...
That's my point.
Yeah, they would have to get their information out there, right? Like, how do you reach a customer? That's the...
Yeah, so 100%. But you're like, no, but like... consumers have the choice. I'm like, no, they have the illusion of choice. They only have the choice of what they can see.
Yeah,
right?
Okay. Sure.
No, but you were saying with McDonald's.
Yeah, like if McDonald's was showing free coffee, how did the people know there was free coffee? They have to tell that it was free coffee, right?
That's my point. No, but you're like, it's better for the consumer. And I'm like, but they're still pawns.
Yeah,
No, but they're still pawns.
If they were selling the coffee, like, we have coffee, but the same price as Tim Hortons, but I've always been Tim Hortons. Like, it's not going to attract the customer, right?
Right, but you're saying that the pawn has the power. The pawn has no power. The pawn thinks it has power.
I think when you spend your money, that's the power, no?
That's the illusion of power, because you think, but what happens if you didn't know that thing existed? How can you spend money on something you didn't know existed?
Right.
You need the outlet to spend the money.
Yeah. So they have
right?
they have to inform the public or whatever customer.
So right. So who has the power? The one who's doing the informing, the business. The business is providing the service.
Right. But you're only that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, but if they're informing, right, you have to attract it in a certain way, right? So if it's free coffee or pay for coffee.
Okay. Yeah, but if there is no so if you're in the middle of the forest, there's no coffee to be found.
Sure.
Who has the power? You're like, well, I have money. Where's my coffee?
Yeah.
You need the coffee outlet. So who holds the power? The coffee outlet. Do you agree?
Well, yeah, if all you have is money, yeah.
So who has the power? Well, I have power because I have money. Not really, because you need the outlet to spend the money.
Sure.
So if there's no outlet,
so money is
no
the power.
spending.
Right.
No, the business. Because if you didn't create the business, you could have all the money in the world, but it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the middle of an island. You need food.
Yeah,
all you have is money.
Sure.
So it's like, I have all this power. What power? There's nothing there for you to engage with.
Right,
the real power is in the business for opening it.
Right, I got you.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. Right.
But all right, now think of it.
So if in that island I actually knew how to make my own coffee, then I would have my own power.
Then you'd have the power. And this is what I'm. Thank you. And this is
so that's
this
why
is
we
what
should
I
be
want to
farmers,
get to.
right?
No. 100%.
Right?
No. Real power. Self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And but what is tied to self-sufficiency? Knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said it's objective reality. If you're just running off emotion, you're a pawn, bro. We're just moving you how we need to move you.
Okay.
Because you're not paying attention.
Sure. Yeah.
But if you know, like, oh, this is how the game's played, you can choose to play the game or not play the game.
Right.
That's true power. True power is still, I'll never have more power. You'll never have more power than businesses because that's collective, bro. You can't, as one person, you can't bring down the government.
Well, yeah, no, yeah. We're in the system.
You need to wake other people up. You need to wake other people up.
Yeah.
We're
within the system,
right?
Yeah,
totally. But power, I don't even want to call it power. It's not power because you don't have power. You have, so stupid, awakeness. You have you're consciously aware. You're an aware being.
Mm-hmm.
You are understanding the gravity of your choices. What is that? Autonomy? It's not really autonomy though.
It's sort
what
of.
I'm trying to say, right? It's
yeah.
But I don't want to go spiritual. I don't want to be like you're an awakened being. That's technically what it is. You're just awake. You play the game or you don't want to play the game.
You're woke.
It's up to you now.
Right.
Stay woke, bro. I know this energy drink's not good for me, but I'm choosing to drink the energy drink because I'm like, oh, let me wake up to this. But it's now you have now there's no I'm the self-aware pawn. Whereas most people are pawns and they're all asleep and they're just like, what's going on? What do we say? Oh, but then me and you're like, wait, I don't want to engage in that. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world, I'm just say it though. Everyone in the world's talking about a very specific topic right now, but we kind of touched on it, but we're not going to go there because we're like, wait, we both know it's too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not invested in this enough, so we're just not going to even go there.
Right.
But other people quick to jump there. Why'd you jump?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a geopolitical expert? You know what I mean? Don't give me your ideas on what you think is right based off of what other people told you. Do some research.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Stay woke, bro. Stay woke. Okay. Okay. Another thing I wanted to get into before we like wrap up because we're hitting our time. Apple's $2 billion deal acquisition for
Well,
Formula One.
it's
You
not
sent me
done.
that.
Yeah, but it's
Okay,
not
cool.
like
All right.
it's not
I have some thoughts on that.
it's not a closed deal or anything like that. It's just this is the supposedly what's happening in the background right now, I think, but I don't know if it'll happen. It's not like solidified or anything like that. So no other
Okay.
side have really talked about it, but there's some. It was in like F1 Business Magazine or something like that. So that's where, because I was like, people were reporting on it. I was like, where's the actual report coming from? So I was able to find the actual like the magazine
Oh, that's
and read
interesting.
the actual article. So, yeah. So they're,
That's cool.
I mean, yeah, that's Apple's trying to. If this is all true, they're trying to expand. They did it with MLS, which is the soccer, which they saw like a
Yeah.
huge numbers increase. So if F1 is trying to grow in America, so maybe that's why the Apple's looking into it too.
Okay, I have a theory. On this one. So somebody sent me a commercial. Basically, it's like the corporate social responsibility report. Did you see that? With Apple, they put it out
No.
like, we're going to be 100% green. All right, anyways.
Oh,
So,
Apple
like,
from Apple. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it? Yeah, and it was like, who's that actress? She played like Mother Nature
Yeah, no, they showed
in
that at the
the.
keynote. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so check this out. So I was like, wow, that's heavily processed. They have all these actors in it. It's very well made. It's filmed like a thing. I think, given with what happened with the iPhone 15, they know they've plateaued, and they need to diversify. And I think they're branching out into streaming services now.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the real.
What do you call? Is it called streaming or services? Just in general, services. Services where they make
Okay, yeah.
a lot of money or they don't have to spend too much.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And this is based off of evidence with the 15. I'm like, what are the upgrades, bro? Like nothing.
No,
It's
I think
terabyte.
right. And they don't have to. There's no like. What's the word? They've already had enough customers. People are just gonna keep buying iPhones.
Yeah. They
right?
plateaued. They've like hit
So-
their max point. They're like, we can't grow anymore. So we need to. How do we keep growing monetarily? We need to invest, diversify our investment portfolio.
Mhm.
We're gonna go into F1. We're going to movies because the movies that are coming out are friggin' amazing, right?
Yeah.
Apple TV is like putting out some amazing work, like Hijacked. Those are like series, right?
Mhm.
But like even the movies, Napoleon, like what? This was made by Apple,
Right.
you know? And I think maybe they're going to become a huge, media outlet. I mean, they're already on their way, but
if you
they
look at it,
know,
like their competition is doing the same kind of stuff, right? Like Prime or Amazon with their Prime stuff.
No. Oh, yeah, for sure,
Like
Because they're like, okay,
they gotta
further,
stay.
people are already buying on the platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, fair. And that's where we need to go, totally. But I mean, this even alludes.
Well, that's
to
where
the
I think
chess
that's
thing,
where they feel like they need to go in order to keep surviving. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Well, keep providing a high return on investment. They can survive. Like what? You have $1 trillion, bro. You're not worried. It's the return on investment.
Sure. Yeah.
You have investors that want the stock to go up.
It's a public
So how do you
company,
make the
right?
stock
So at
go
this
up?
point,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're beholden to the stock market. But see, there's the chess game again. It's like, but anyways, we won't get back into the chess game. I just want to bring that up because I thought that was pretty interesting. I also saw a haunting in
I just want to like
Venice.
add a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
if this is all true, what they were saying is they'll own 25% of broadcasting rights, and over the 5 years, it'll become 100% broadcasting rights.
Damn. All right.
And that's $2 billion.
There you go.
And I was like, I just looked
Aren't
up
they a
because I was
trillion?
talking to my brother about that yesterday, and he's like, how much cash do they have like right now on hand? And as of like June
Yeah, $1
2023,
trillion?
it's like, no, that's like sure with the market, but like on hand cash.
Oh, okay.
On hand cash, they have like, as of June 23rd, it's just 62 billion. Like they just can spend. So $2 billion,
bro.
really,
That's nothing. Yeah, totally.
it's nothing.
Yeah. And this all came about, like this is the most genius thing ever, but it all came about from Steve Jobs when they went under. He's like, oh, we need cash. So they started like hoarding cash, which is a genius move on their part.
But I feel like for business for Apple to have succeeded, it was Tim Cook. The ideas of the products came from Steve Jobs, but the business came from Tim Cook.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I've
Yeah.
read.
I'll wait till Tim Cook's bio comes out from Walter Isaacson. You see, I'm reading the I'm
Yeah.
reading the Elon one right now, dude. That is, I'm still in the beginning bit, but um, well, we'll have a whole podcast on it. But I'm learning some really interesting things about Elon.
Mhm.
Like, okay, well, here's one that's super interesting. He crushed his face, so he got beat up as a kid, and like all these people, you know how his nose looks like that? It's like kind of short, sharp.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so he always had. You know how he looks off when he's thinking?
Mhm.
You'll ask him a question and he'll like
Yeah.
compute. It looks like he's a computer.
His computer. Yeah.
So he always did that since he was a little kid. His
Mm.
parents were saying like you can't break him from the trance because he's calculating something and then he'll say something. But people thought he's a weirdo. So on the recess thing, all the kids beat him up and they crushed his face. So
Ooh.
he's been going through reconstructive surgery till now to fix his like septum,
Oh
like his
wow.
nose.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's why it looks like kind of, you know.
Mm.
And what he was saying is that it stuck with him. That trauma stuck with him. He's like, I'm gonna own the whole like schoolyard, which makes sense. Like, look what he's doing. But that one trauma like built who he is.
Right.
Yeah, he like alludes always back to that like that one playground
Mm.
incident where like 6 people beat him up and he had to go to the hospital, all that stuff. But he's like, now I can own you guys.
Damn, they were crazy in South Africa.
I know, right, bro? Little kids just
Yeah.
crushed his face. He was like a little kid,
Mm.
and they had to go to the hospital reconstruct. That's crazy.
Right.
Um, actually, well, this alludes to another thought. What's your? I hope this doesn't go too long, but me and your brother were talking, and what's one of your earliest memories? Like, what can you remember?
Again, I can't remember. They're like pseudo memories. They're not.
Okay, totally, 100%, 100%. So your brother was like, "What's your earliest memory in this house where I live, my parents' house?"
Mhm.
And then I was like, "Oh, I remember this. I remember this, right? I remember walking in the house and like nothing was there, and then there's a backyard." And then I was like, "But I don't know if that's fake." And he's like, "Oh, have you ever told your parents about that?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, well then ask them if that happened, and you'll know if it's a fake memory or not, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you can
Yes,
judge,
yes,
right?"
yes.
But if they told me like, you know, so I went in, and then my dad was like, "No, what? Never happened." I was like, "Oh, okay, it's fake memory." And I went to my mom, and she's like, "What are you guys talking about?" And I told her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that happened. Like, yeah, we brought you here, and like blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh, that's my earliest memory." But aside from that memory is being held down. We always talk about this, being held down for a blood test on my finger when I was a little kid.
Right. I think that's
But
the. I wonder if that's.
ding 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 ding, and that is what I want to get to, which is we like, aside from our earliest memory, what's our earliest trauma? And then that earliest trauma compounds for the rest of your life. Why am I so afraid of needles?
Right. See, now I wanted to
But
actually get into
it's my
this,
earliest
which is
memory.
very weird.
Okay,
The word of trauma.
okay, cool. Trauma,
Because
bro.
I saw
Trauma, yeah.
I saw something where it's like, some mom at some teacher's thing, like she was saying, like what's going on? Like these kids are acting all, not weird. It's just like all the stuff that's happening in society, and
Yeah.
what she's saying is that they grew up in the internet time, right? Social media time. That they're
Yeah.
exposed to. We've got maybe let's say one trauma that we have to deal with, right? Like Elon had that
Okay.
one big trauma that he has to deal with. But if you're just bombarded with trauma news all the time as a kid,
True.
how do you handle this world?
That's a good point. That's a good point. And you don't even have the tools. You don't
Yeah.
even know how
They're
to.
not. Yeah, they can't. Like that's why they're saying like kids be kids, because they don't have the brain development to handle like the world
Yeah.
until a certain age, of course. But
Yeah. Yes, 100%. Okay, this dovetails into like, I can't even get into this because like there's some ideology that can get you like banned. Depending on what, like banned in certain places, but then like hired
Sure.
in another place. But yes, 100% agree with you. I won't even go into that like that zone. But speaking of trauma, what's crazy too is like it's a compounded effect from the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So my earliest trauma was the injection, like the not even injection, it was just a blood draw from my finger,
Right.
right? I don't even remember if it hurt. I just remember all of the trauma surrounding that event, like held down, holding my toy, just like staring at her, like, okay,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
your thing,
Yeah.
you know? And then like now, 30 years later, I don't know when my last blood draw was, but like, let's say 30 years later, I'm still deathly afraid of it, and it's just getting worse. Remember I told you the last time when
Mm-hmm.
I got the tetanus shot, and I like, oh, dude, I almost
Yeah.
fainted.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, mind over matter, but I know all these tricks, but they're not working. It's like, yeah, but it's because it's deep rooted in my like subconscious, or like my body mind
Mm-hmm.
is like holding on to this trauma, right? And it's like, but what about those kids now? Like, we don't know how they're going to turn out.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
Yeah.
just bombarded with trauma, right? And it's like, we really, trauma is one of the, it's like our biggest driving force. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Next to the injection is dentistry. Like I was held down, like, you're fine, extracted a bunch of teeth,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Think
I
about
had a dentist
Athena. Like
appointment,
why Athena hates the vet. I mean, there's trauma.
right? But even from like an animal perspective, they can't understand. Like, she's not consciously aware, but as soon as she sees that door, she like her body seizes up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's on an animal level.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just like an id. That's just your emotions are running.
Right.
But with the Elon Musk story, right, and Steve Jobs too, like he was abandoned as a kid, like he's like, where am I, right? We base a lot of our decision making off of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
right? We are a traumatized species. That's what, like, human beings are. Yeah, they're ironic, they're hypocritical, but it's the survival thing. Remember I was saying, like, and trauma is based on survival. We want to avoid this problem,
Right.
or figure out a solution to the problem, right? As best we can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all rooted in like trauma.
Yeah.
Like our whole lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like our strongest emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know anybody who base their life off of love. It's like, oh, I remember as a kid I was loved so much. It's like, yeah, cool, but like, what's your trauma? Because your trauma will inform your next thing. And this isn't just like speculation. Like, there's a lot of books on this.
Yeah.
Gabor Mate talks about this all the time. Like, addiction is based off of trauma. Like, people are like,
Sure.
what he's saying is like, don't ask why the addiction, ask why the pain, because you're using the addiction to mask the pain. So what's the pain that's holding you, there?
Mm-hmm.
And it infers like everything we do. Like, why did I make this decision instead of this decision? A trauma. It's a trauma-based decision.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But you can use the trauma as like fuel as well. Elon Musk. He could have like, I'll never talk to anyone again. I'm scared of that.
Yeah. There's could
Or
be
he was like,
two ways. Yeah.
Right. He's like, I'm gonna own the playground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's make it positive. Actually, wait. All right. One quick thing before we make it positive. Diddy turned up. Remember I saying that thing? Like, he's saying like, oh, Diddy ordered the hit on Tupac.
Well, that's
that's
I would say that's
what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All I'll say is that's his claim. Now he has to show the proof.
We have to prove it. No, facts are facts. But it's just funny because like it was kind of understood in the music world. Eminem said it. There was that documentary.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I'm saying like, is he? Yeah, I get that. Like, is he just using that as a scapegoat? I don't know.
True. Yeah. We don't know. It'll just be interesting because I think we said that on the last podcast. Well, if he ties it to Diddy, that would be crazy. Okay. All right. Last thing. So Blink-182's back.
Sorry, did you watch any of the Vlad stuff or no?
No, man, I'm so busy this past week. No. I just
that's fine.
Crazy busy.
Just checking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying.
I'll try and watch it. Yeah. So Blink-182's back, and what I find really interesting is during this traumatic time, like a lot of stuff is going on in the world, right?
Yeah.
And when Blink first came out, that was like the first album that I had purchased. And the thing that drew me to them was their no care attitude. It's like that's what punk rock culture is, right? It's like, I don't care what you're doing. I'm just going to do me. I'm going to make my art over here. I'm just going to live in this way, right? And they were really like leading by example. Like if you watch their interviews, they always loved their families.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't spend beyond their means. They would always buy like things, but they weren't like crazy about it. You know, they're not like decked out in like Louis Vuitton and like all this. They're like the stuff they're wearing you could buy. Like, it's like Van shoes.
Yeah. That's
You know what I'm
just
saying? Like,
this
they're very,
reminds me
like,
of
modern.
because I watched David Beckham's Netflix
Oh,
thing, and
interesting.
he's the opposite.
Okay.
Like he got paid.
Balling out.
Yeah, he just got 50,000 paid for this. Like I don't know what let's say Adidas deal, and the next day he spends $50,000 and buys an M3 or something.
Right. No, so 100%. That's like the rapper's mentality. All rappers do that, right? But Blink-182 was not known for that because they were like regular dudes that grew up and became famous. Okay, so like they're always about positivity, right? And I was watching more interviews recently. So they broke up, you know, they had like a falling out.
Right.
But it turns out they had a falling out because Tom DeLonge was doing this whole UFO thing, but he couldn't tell his band. So his whole band thought like, oh, he doesn't want to be in the band anymore.
Right.
And then only now it's like, hey, actually I was working on this UFO thing. Like, I don't actually hate you guys, blah, blah, blah. Right. So they're back together and their new album is coming out next week. And it's, even though it's like it has like some dark themes, they always make the song sound like positive, right? Just like Enema of the State, which is their first album that I bought and like has been, you know, positive. And what I was thinking was, so listening to Tom DeLonge's interviews about how, theoretically, if these UAPs are feeding off of negative human emotion, and the only thing that can like defeat them is like love, it sounds so ridiculous. But it's cool that in this time of like turmoil, right, we have like a lot going on in the world, they're combating that negativity with positivity. And what they said is in their interview, they're like, we all came from broken homes. See, there's the trauma, right?
Yep.
And they're saying like, but if we can be overly positive, it will snuff out that negativity. And that's why they're always so happy. They're jovial. Their songs are very like catchy. And like, that's what gravitated towards it for me. And like, even listening to their music now, I'm just like, it makes you feel like, oh, everything will be okay. It has that air of like, yeah, the world's crazy, but we got you. You know what I mean? Like us punk rock people got you, you know? And like, that's the punk rock ethos, which is like punk rockers are very anti-establishment, right? Because they're like, that world's crazy. And like, you know, we're going to find the truth, right? And I just think it's like, it's interesting that he manifested, speaking of trauma, like their trauma, they manifested this positive light amidst like it feels like the one candle in the darkness that's trying to like shine light.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Even their comedy is very like self-deprecating. Instead of making fun of you, they'll make fun of themselves. Right?
Yeah.
And then we could all laugh about it, you know? And like, we need that now more than ever because there's just so much turmoil. I've just been hearing a lot of people tell me like, I'm so worried about the future. I don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
You know? And then even with my own mind, I'm like, oh, we're just pawns in this game. Like, you know, what does it matter? But then you have like this one spark that's trying to light other sparks. And I think that's like, you know, light one candle, you light a million. You know what I mean? Like, I think we all need to do that in this moment.
Yeah.
We need to be like, we need to look at cool things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? Actually, wait. I did this exercise. So like I ran this this meeting, right? And then I was like, oh, I just want to check on you all. Like, let's touch base. Like, how are we all feeling? And it was just negative. And I was like, okay. So then, no, because like,
yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
You know, but like, also, I'm not your therapist, bro. Like, we're just trying to share this together. So then I was like, what's one thing that you're excited about? And so he named something. I'm like, actually, name 5 things. And then they like named 5 things. They went around the room. 5 things, right? And then I was like, oh, that's actually a gratitude practice in spirituality. Like, now look at how you feel after focusing on the 5 things because you just shifted your perspective from like, oh, the world sucks to like 5 things.
Yeah.
That like you're grateful for. You know what's crazy though? Where I learned that is there's a dude suffering from like severe depression, and that's one of the tricks that his therapist gave to him
Mm-hmm.
to like rejig or like revamp his
Right.
perspective.
Yeah.
You
Makes
know,
sense. I think.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like life is just like this. Life is what you focus on.
Yeah, and then you forget. Forget. I think that's the whole point of the gratitude is to remember what you are.
5 things, just
Yeah.
5 things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Help like what you're happy about. Yeah.
yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. Final question. Who are we? Like, what are we at the end of the day? It's like
Oh.
what is like who are you? You know?
Mm-hmm. Human race.
No. Like I'm no no. I mean like you as a person, right? Like you think about all of the input stimuli, the narratives that you put around your life, but it's like who are you?
Right.
Like who are you at the end of the day? If you were on an island, who are you? And it's like we played that game before. It's like
Yeah. No.
you're no one,
Yeah.
right? But it's like, but if you really think about it, if you were put on an island, no other people like give you feedback or like, oh, you're that person who did this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we really are nothing except the story, like the trauma that's inborn, like which
Yeah.
is the
If you break
narrative,
it down,
right?
sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's like a crazy thought. At the end of the day, it's like we're nobody. You know,
Yes, but yeah, we're here though.
we're nobody, but like the conglomerate of stories
Mm-hmm.
that we remember.
Sure. Yeah. And what level of attachment you put onto those stories? Yeah.
Yeah, totally, right? Yeah. But that I feel like that's malleable too. It's like if I was on an island, I could be like, I'm a hunter now. I would start hunting things.
Yeah, I've seen
You
it
know,
where it's like, it's like convincing yourself one other way, right? It's like,
convincing yourself.
yeah, that
Yeah.
you're this kind of thing or that kind of thing. So that means it's malleable, can be changed.
Yeah. Right. So we're like this ever evolving thing that's like has no real ground in anything. We really are nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or unless you think I'm wrong.
No, we're just, well, technically animals, so we're just gonna be like it's.
No, but that's a narrative. But that's a narrative too. It's
No.
we're
I'm saying
animals.
like, yeah, no, I get that. No, I'm saying like, it's the mind, this conscious level that we have that has generated these stories for us. Like, would we, without that, just be like let's just say like a deer or whatever animal that's out there just doing its thing?
You know, yeah. You know what doing its thing is called?
What?
Meditation, bro. Meditation. No, quite literally.
Right.
Like in spiritual life, they're like, learn to meditate from this cat. And I never understood it. But it's like, oh, no, I get it. Because the cat's just being. It's just
Mm-hmm.
doing. It's not like, it's not thinking. And if we were like, but that's also, you know,
But like
a double-edged sword.
without thinking, we're not here where we're
Where
at.
would we be? Yeah, and there's no internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But just realize your true power lies in your ability to reframe your own narrative. Because life is just a story we tell ourselves. Like you can literally tell yourself.
But like
you know what's
I was just
interesting?
thinking, just in a cat's perspective, are we just being?
Yeah, true. I don't know. Because maybe it just doesn't understand our language. So it's like.
Right? Like, are we just doing what we're
you
supposed to be
see like
doing?
animals.
Also?
Yeah, true. I don't know. All right. Okay, very last thing, because I have to help Tara with the studying. There was this dog. I don't know how true this is.
Okay.
But I sent this like reel, and this dog learned to communicate with like paw things. Like it would push a thing.
Oh yeah. I've
I'd be
seen
like,
those
why?
videos.
Yes, right. You know, you see
Mm.
those, and then it started to like realize. It started to ask the question to the owner, "Why am I a dog?" Right? It started to have an existential crisis, and then it made me realize. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
I know you were gonna jump in like, oh, that could be
I
fake.
don't want to.
Totally.
Yeah.
Let's assume it's real. Let's assume
Sure,
it's real.
sure.
Okay. If it's real, what it made me realize is like language is the base of how we create our lives.
Oh,
If there was
yeah.
no language, we
Yep.
wouldn't, right? How you talk to yourself in your head, language,
Mm-hmm.
how you communicate. really makes up your reality.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, isn't that the whole
And-
idea of Arrival?
Yeah, the movie Arrival. Yeah, totally. She can travel through time because she realized their language. She understood their language, and their language teaches you how to like perceive. Language makes you quite literally perceive your reality in a specific way.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't know what the word pain meant, how would you know something hurt?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, "Oh, it's a sensation."
Yeah,
but we
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
attach
yeah.
a
Right.
word to it,
Right.
and that word has like other definitions, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
like I know some languages have more breakdowns on certain meanings. So it's like love is one word that the English word used, but there's different in different languages.
Greek language,
yeah, or like other languages too, where there's a specific this love means this specific thing. This love means this specific. Like there's a breakdown of the word into different
and there's
variations.
Totally. And there's a reason why we use. Some people want to be pretentious, but I use certain words in like spiritual life that I can't say in English.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's one gunas, right? Gunas are like sattva, rajas, tamas, which is like basically the three interplays of how our universe is like moving.
Sure.
It's like light, dark, and like neutrality, something like that. But that's not actually what it is. But you have to use that language and that word because it's like I know what you mean.
Right.
But like I can't explain it in English. Like I can see the picture in my head, and the best word to describe that picture is gunas.
Right. Yeah. There's no other.
There's
no direct translation. You can only use that
word.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure like people who speak multiple languages understand what we're saying right now, and it's like, but that is so impactful on how you create your life.
Yes.
And let's take it to religion now. The first line in the Bible is in the beginning there was the word.
Mm-hmm.
Mind blow. It was telling us the whole time that's how you create your reality. Language.
Mm-hmm.
Mic drop. Gotta read more of the Bible. No, I was just saying, but you know what I mean? Like
yes.
That's pretty fascinating. Like really how we
there is no society without
language.
Yeah.
Quite literally. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe that's what separates us from other beings. We think it's like the development of, stone tools and like all this. Maybe like at the end of the day, it's like, why do we progress so quickly as a society?
Yeah.
Language. I think so.
I think so. No, I've heard that.
Well, I haven't read that yet. I was just hypothesizing. The thing that I read was like stone tools, agriculture. I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, no. That is like that's the rudimentary thing. But how can you communicate how to use a stone tool? That means
language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Language is everything.
Exactly.
So watch your words. What was the line? It's like, watch your words and mind them with care.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. There's like a little parable that they say to children.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I don't know.
Basically, watch your words. Like, watch how you speak to others. Watch how you speak about others. Watch how you speak about yourself. Like, words are quite literally like spells.
Mm-hmm.
So you're putting spells on people.
Yeah.
Right? And on yourself. Okay, and with that, that's how we'll leave it. Till next week. Actually, next week, can we do it on the Sunday, or are you busy?
I might be okay on Sunday for that. I think so.
Okay, cool. I might be pumpkin picking. Okay, cool. I might be pumpkin picking with Jared's kids. So like, what up, Jared? If you listen to this, but he asked me for the Sunday. It's the only day that I had free. But okay, we'll do it. Anyways, till next time. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.
Bye. All right, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors, Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.